We did a lot of reading on the modern way of starting new businesses.
Yes.
And I know these days everyone is talking about it, but 10 years ago, not as many people were talking about it.
Yeah.
If you look at some of the stuff like some of the principles expressed in a book called The Lean Startup.
Yes.
Is how do you start something without spending years building it and then finding out the customer doesn't like it?
Yes.
How do you prototype? How do you
iterate quickly and update what you're offering?
And they've convinced us we could do it with a super small team. If you can get something to market with a small team, with this small amount of money that we got, we could do it. And I think those things together with the fact that we felt that it was a meaningful thing to do,
And I think you touched on many aspects of this, but what do you think is Naked's unique value proposition in the industry of insurance?
There's a number of things. So we always say that the one thing is the technology.
Yeah.
And I don't think people always appreciate what do I mean with the technology.
Yes.
Because a lot of the players that you see out there that call themselves insurtechs, they've built a distribution engine.
Yes.
We are not a distribution engine alone.
Yeah.
We are re-engineering the whole value chain.
Yes.
We have not licensed a single piece of software. We have built everything ourselves.
Incredible.
And the way we built it was with automation and AI in mind right from the beginning.
Sure. So it's sort of DNA.
Yes. So what's the advantages of that? That means you can do stuff a lot cheaper.
Yes.
And at the same time improve the customer experience.
Yes. You have more agency as well.
So it's like things happen faster for the customer, and we actually in the back end do it a lot cheaper, which then again means that we're taking product to market a lot cheaper.
Yes.
That also helps with marketing because of the fact that you get a lot of referrals.
Yes.
And from the beginning, making sure that we get a lot of referrals and that kind of revs the marketing engine has also been one of the key strategies or one of the key hypotheses that we had that is actually paying dividends at this particular point in time. So it's a lot about the technology and the way we actually think about things, those cost savings and all in-house built that makes the whole thing a coherent whole. So there's not, how can I put this? The amount of information that we collect is all in one place.
Yes.
And because of the fact that we know every touch point of the person, it also gives us a lot of advantages around fraud management.
And personalization and
all of those kind of things. And the other thing that sometimes I find disappointing that not more people feel passionate about is the naked difference. It's the fact that on the 31st of March of every year, we basically check if there's any money left in the claims pot. Because we take a flat fee, like a subscription fee. Mm-hmm. We pay all our marketing costs, our staff costs, all of it out of there. The rest of the money goes into a pot to pay claims and claims-related expenses.
Yes.
Including things like reinsurance, because reinsurance is also part of the system. And at the end of at that point, if there's money left there, it goes to causes and communities that our customers choose.
So your customers actually,
it's part of your
decision making.
It's part of your onboarding journey. You actually select your cause. So, and the causes are also ring fenced.
Yes.
So, say for example, if there's money left in the Cotland's cause, or if there's money left in Crystal House, Crystal House will still get a payout, even maybe if Cotland's is a negative.
Got you.
Because the whole thing is, and people always say, why don't we do cashbacks to the customers? Cashbacks is a deterrent to you claiming. I am here for you to claim if you need me.
Yeah.
You don't need to think about it twice. And even if you do claim from me, your cause could still get money if our overall loss ratio looks fine.
Yeah.
The only reason why we have that cause or make a different setup is to keep us honest.
Yes.
And I'm also hoping that it's going to keep you more honest.
Yeah.
Because you're not taking money from me if you claim fraudulently. You are taking money from a cause that you've selected to support.
Yeah.
So for me, the naked difference is also one of the big things that makes us different.
I think something that anyone can attest to is your marketing. I guess people absolutely love it. And it's also very simple. What was sort of like your ethos around that approach to marketing? I mean, it's very sort of green, black, white. What was your thinking behind that?
So firstly, I have to give a shout out to the Naked team. Like with everything else, we also don't outsource our marketing. We've got in-house marketing team. Ernie is our Chief Marketing Officer.
Yes.
So he looks after that amongst a number of other things, which sometimes feels contradictory. He's also our key individual and looks after compliance and risk management.
Sure. But it's an actuary, but so it just shows how actuaries can play in these different spaces.
Exactly. I always believe what you choose to study shouldn't limit you. And the actual profession still attracts some of the smartest people in the country, in South Africa. So I believe you can do whatever you want to do if you that way inclined. So I must also give a shout out to Machi. She is our head UX designer.
Okay.
So she is absolutely brilliant. And she was core to that look and feel that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Very much the simplicity. I remember I hated in the beginning the green because I was worried it felt too much like Old Mutual, and she kind of just powered through me. It's like, we're gonna have this. And then we always want to keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to be launching a couple of new marketing campaigns in the near future.
I was excited.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm quite excited about that. Yeah.
And just sort of touching on that in a bit more detail, why did you decide to call the entity Naked? What was the reasoning there?
Oh, manual company is really hard, to be honest. We went through. I think we've been going already for over a year. Yeah, and we'd had many names, but we hadn't launched the public yet. We were building. We were building the technology. And in the end, we decided, okay, maybe we need some outside help.
Okay.
So we got this woman in to do a naming brainstorming session with us. Mm-hmm. And we got a list of these names, and I thought they were all horrible. And we had the session in the morning, and then Ernie went out to go buy some stuff for lunch. We were still sitting in this one little room. And Alex told me I'm being super negative. Let's just look at these names again. So we went through them, and there was this one name, and he said, but this name is not so bad. It was Naka. Yeah, that's some constellation of stars. Yes. Very intellectual. And I told him, listen, dude, I would rather be, and I used very bad language, but which I won't use here, I would rather be naked than Naka. And then he was like, that's the right name for us. Sure. It's exactly all our values. It's like, what you see is what you get, uncovered, simple, transparent, da-da-da. So we had them saying like, it's all of Ernie. We're naked.
At least I bought lunch.
And and it's actually quite interesting because even today, and I mean, I haven't really spoken about the culture of the team we have here because that's my other super big passion, is building a team of people and giving them an environment where they make a difference. I promise you, every time we're wondering about anything, we ask, is it naked enough? Is it?
So that's like it's like the metric.
Yeah.
Sure. And I think, could you speak to the ethos of the company when it comes to the people that you hire and what you try to create in the environment that they're working in?
Yeah, no, I can definitely do that. We've always believed with a small team of very talented people, you can do a lot more than with a large team of average people.
Sure.
So we definitely have followed that philosophy here as well. Mm-hmm. We are extremely selective in who we hire. Mm-hmm. Still, every single person that comes in gets interviewed by me and Alex.
Sure. Regardless of their role.
Regardless of their role. It doesn't matter what they do, because sometimes we check their skills, but more often I want to make sure that they are good humans.
Yeah.
Because you can be as talented as you want. If you're not a good human, you are not naked.
Yeah.
And so for us, it's super important. And I think it's one of the things we learned by being at EY. It's just, and this is something Alex and I have spent so much time talking about. As soon as a company gets bigger, it becomes much more filled with red tape.
Agreed. Bureaucracy central.
And that stifles any form of innovation.
Agreed.
So if you, like EY, and you have 190,000 employees, you're going to have red tape.
Yeah.
And we started thinking about that. And the whole thing is, why does that happen? So you're a company of 30. Everyone knows exactly what everyone else is doing. Then you get to 50. All of a sudden, Joe decides he's going to stay in a 5-star hotel when he travels down to Cape Town.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, we're going to have new rules here.
Yeah.
You could only pay this much for a hotel room. No,
Yeah.
just 3-star hotels. You can't spend more than this. And then all of a sudden you have these rules around
Yeah.
this thing. Then all of a sudden Sarah decides she's going to fly business class,
yeah.
or whatever. Then all of a sudden you have some more rules. And the whole thing, so something bad happens and you just start making more rules and more rules and more rules. But how do you prevent that? It's easy if you're 25, like we were at Quindium.
Yeah.
How do you prevent that as the company grows?
Yeah.
And we looked at a lot of different things. There's an approach called holacracy,
Okay.
but they didn't really have much. It's to do with autonomy and really giving responsibility, but they didn't really have practical implementation examples, apart from a bunch of nurses in the UK,
Yes.
which didn't really feel that applicable to us.
A little bit weird.
And then it's now, is it now 3 years ago? A book came out around the Netflix culture. No, it's more than that. 4 years ago? I can't remember.
Okay.
No rules.
Yes, I've read it. Love it.
Yes.
Great book.
Exactly. And that, I don't prescribe to every single thing in it. It's very American.
Yes.
And it's not always exactly like the South African culture. And some of the stuff is a bit different. But in principle, we've always believed that you should be giving people responsibility, and you should give them the power to execute on that responsibility. And that is what makes them feel as though they're making a contribution,
Yes.
and that what they're doing at work is worthwhile.
Sure.
And then if you read that book, it gives you a lot of ways
Yes.
that is really
Practical.
practical ways of actually implementing something like that in a much bigger organization. So we still believe and implement within Bacon freedom and responsibility.
Sure.
Talk about it all the time. We had on Monday a chat about too much freedom and not enough responsibility.
Yes.
Because with great freedom, it is big responsibility.
Yes. And it was like spider
If you do things wrong, you will talk about it.
Yeah.
And everyone will learn from it. Yeah. Because we had all hands on Monday and we had a chat about it, because there were a couple of things that we just wanted to sunshine.
Yeah.
Or that people wanted to sunshine.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we have a very young group of people here.
Yes, I saw it. Actually.
Our average age, I think, is about 24.
Sure.
Even for our help desk, because we don't have a call center per se, we have a help desk that helps with the technology.
Yeah.
We're only hiring young graduates.
Sure.
From a variety of different backgrounds.
I know, I heard. I was chatting to some of them now. Like, some of them are juders and
Yes.
DJs. And I was like, wow.
No, they're all very different. Finance, philosophy, marketing. And the idea was, I think when we started this, we wanted to give young South Africans an opportunity to come and work in an environment like this. That's also why we don't want to outsource.
Got you.
We also, they don't know anything about insurance when they start, but believe you me, we've got serious training programs.
I do.
So they know about insurance by the time that they're in here for 6 months.
Sure.
And our intention is that as the company grows, these young people will move more into leadership roles.
Yes.
And that is happening at the moment. So we still have a long way to go with the technology. We still want to automate a lot more. Mm-hmm. And that also means that I only want the most difficult problems to go through to humans. And I must make sure that those humans are smart enough to handle those problems. That's why we don't have a traditional call center staff or anything like that at the moment.
Yeah, I think just linking onto that leadership sort of comment that you made, a lot of my students I engage with, they don't associate actuarial science with leadership or entrepreneurship. It's sort of seen, you go into an insurance entity and you just do actuarial
That's
stuff.
how actuaries go to die often.
And so can you speak to that? So what do you think actuaries can bring to those spaces? And how have you, as an actuary, seen it play out in the roles and the leadership roles you've taken on?
I mean, I can definitely speak to that. I think I mentioned earlier when you and I were talking that in South Africa, the actuarial science course still attracts the smartest people in the country. And please, if you're attracting the smartest people in the country, they need to